Welcome to Groovy Cubes. Groovy Cubes is a portable sensory experience for those who benefit from touching textured surfaces. Groovy Cubes is a six-sided cube that has grooved textures on all of its faces. Those who purchase Groovy Cubes will use them to focus the mind or calm the nerves as anxiety arises. The research conducted this month consisted of several outside sources that helped guide the final results. The sources in Week 1 helped decide which of the optional asset files to create. The sources in Week 2 helped determine the correct location of artwork in the social media ads. The sources in Week 3 helped solidify the tagline and slogan direction, and the sources in Week 4 helped with the final animation assets. Several design decisions were made throughout this month. The first problem involved the development of the tagline and accompanying asset slogans. The brainstorming efforts seen here showcase the exploration and development of both. The final solution splits up the tagline with ellipses to give pause to the wording and allow for the tagline to be mimicked in the asset slogans. All of the finishing lines are double meanings with a literal application as well as a figurative meaning related to emotional health. The original tagline was okay, but read too quickly, and the added explanation point didn't feel appropriate. The solution for the change tagline is subtle, but really adds to the calming influence the cubes have. The reading of the text slows down and emphasizes the primary benefit and feature of the product. The subtle breakdown of the tagline now allows for application across multiple asset creation platforms as seen here. The repetition of the double meaning statements helps solidify the brand in the minds of the viewer and is a unifying element for brand consistency. The next problem that was solved this month was how to visually represent the emotional side of the product without using photographic imagery. This led to the development of a sketch emoji. This style is on brand with the quirkiness and the line art quality mimics the Zen Garden theme the brand is reaching for. This character addition is another unifying element for the brand that allows for more visual interest, added texture, and playful assets that maintain brand consistency. Throughout the month, development of the brand was guided greatly by the collaboration efforts of classmates, teachers, students and friends, and family. The feedback from all were pivotal in the decisions that were ultimately made in the final brand creation. Throughout the month, several competencies were gained. Over the weeks, time management skills were honed, research skills were utilized, and new animation skills were obtained through the personal exploration of project needs. Week 1 was helpful with the completion of a production schedule. This schedule was valuable in planning out how all production items would be complete and deadlines met. This schedule was adhered to strictly and really helped make sure all goals were met in a timely manner. Sketching in Week 1 was a reminder of this critical step in the design process. Getting ideas out on paper allowed for the asset creation in the computer to run much smoother. In Week 2, organizing an Adobe library with all of the brand elements helped streamline the design process, aiding in time management. An experiment in Week 2 was helpful to determine how different social media platforms behave across different devices. This experiment resulted in the determination that critical elements could get cut off of the profile picture in Facebook. This information was used to design the final social media asset files for the brand. Week 3 was primarily focused on the finalizing of the tagline and solidifying the use of the slogans across all asset files. Stephen Hurahan was a great resource during this week, and the research validated the double meaning decisions for the company's tagline. Hurahan states, a brand tagline with a double meaning makes neural connections in the brain between the dual meanings, which influences the way the brain stores it to memory. Finally, Week 4 was devoted to animating. This was a new software program to explore, so basic tutorials were used, including how to import Illustrator layers properly into After Effects to help with moving individual parts of a file. The logo seen here was modified in Illustrator to have each of the elements on a separate layer for easy animating. Next, the research on how to create a repeating pattern was explored. The result of this research led to the discovery of how to create repeater shapes in After Effects and how to modify the repeaters to wiggle as seen here. This element of the repeater pattern helps solidify the textured grooves of the product as well as the Zen Garden sand circles from the brand's theme. All of the research, collaboration, and newly gained skills and knowledge were applied in the final outputs for the brand. The personality of the brand and all brand elements are now solidified, with consistent typefaces and color palette choices, as well as the unifying character and tagline rhetoric across all asset files. All of the assets now feel like they belong to the same company and really play to the quirkiness and playful nature the company is striving for. Whether it is a static print media like a billboard or a more dynamic media like an animation, Groovy Cube's brand will be consistent and something the end user will recognize and come to love.